Recording in progress.
All right, all right. We're back. Again, this is part two of Assembly of the Righteous. And like I say again, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This is part two of Assembly of the Righteous, and we're in Second Kings chapter 4. 2 Kings chapter 4. And right now, we're going to do a small recap on the first part of chapter 4. Since this is part two. The first part of chapter 4, we read where there was a certain woman of the wives of the prophets, right? She's the wives of the true prophets in Israel, not in Judah, but in Israel. These were true prophets of Yah. And, um, and she cried unto Elisha and said that it was a creditor, a creditor. Listen to what's in the scriptures. Same as today. Nothing new under the sun. There was a creditor. Her husband had passed, and I guess he was owed. The creditor was owed some money, so he was going to come and take her sons. So the first verse says, "Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, Thy servant, my husband, is dead." Now you got to understand something. This was, even though he was a prophet, he still was a man. We got to have an understanding. Even though he was a prophet, he was still a man that had to get debts, that had to take care of bills, that had. See, a lot of people think just because when you start being just because, not just because, when you start doing the will of Yah, you start doing His will, you start being a prophet of Yah, you still got to take care of your business. Everybody still have bills to pay. A lot of people think that when they become when the Creator allows them to become prophets or messengers or anything like that, they think that no, you still got to take care of your own affairs. You're just doing business and being an ambassador of the Creator. So right here, the servant of it says, no, a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets, um, unto Elisha, saying, she went to Elisha saying, they cried unto Elisha, saying, Thy servant, my husband, is dead, and thou knowest that thy servant did fear Yah. He did fear the Creator, but he still accumulated bills as well. But the key is right here. And the creditor is come to take unto him my two sons to be bondsmen. He was going to come and get the sons and make them his servants, bondsmen physically. But in today's time, with and for understanding, in today's time, what was spoken of in Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, you should be sold unto your enemy as bondsmen and bondswomen, and no man shall buy you. The bonds that they're talking about today, that no man is buying as in physical, the bonds that they're buying is on the auction blocks, which is your birth certificate, social security card, ID card, and your ID card. I think I said that. Birth certificate, social security card, and your ID card. These has bonds and stocks and it has been sold throughout the world. That's why these creditors call your phone saying they want to get this and that. You have all these credit, all these people want to call you and get and what they call them credit debtors and all this other stuff. People just trying to call you to get you to join them so they can go into your account that you don't know nothing about. This is right here in the book. People can't see it. So it says that, and the creditor is come to take unto him my two sons to be bondsmen, to work for him. But mainly, Elisha said unto her, What can I do for you? What am I going to do for you? And then, he said, Well, what you got in your house? She said, Well, I don't have nothing but a pot of oil. He said, I tell you what, and this was the key to part one. I tell you what, go buy as many vessels as you can. Big, small, whatever you get. Buy as many vessels as you can. And take that pot of oil, pour it into all those vessels. And when the vessel get full, pull it to the side. Vessel get full, pull it to the side. That one pot of oil filled up all those vessels. Then he said in verse 7, it said, then she came on and told the man of God, which is Elisha, and he said, go sell the oil and pay thy debt. See, they had debt and debt. They had creditors and debtors back then. The creditor was coming to pick up a debt. The only debt that he can see that he can get from them was the 2 sons. But now Elisha gave her a way to pay for her debt. Elisha gave her a way to pay for her debt. So now all she had to do is obey. This is the problem of today. People don't want to obey. You got parents telling children, they in the house, they don't want to do nothing. They're going to have to learn sooner or later. They say, go get a job. It's up to that child to go out there and search for the job. No one ain't supposed to get up and go to the job and say, okay, you got a job before you come in. No, or some people may have a job for someone, but it's up to the people to do the things that they need to get what they, to do the things that they need to get what they want. They need to get a job to take in this day and time. Me and my wife had a nice discussion on that part 1. Y'all need to go back and check that out. All came out of that showing that they had creditors and debtors back then. Creditors and debtors today is spiritually, well, mainly mentally today, because we have credit. Y'all know about credit. Y'all know about debt, being in debt. Same thing right here in the scriptures. So right here in verse 1, it talked about the creditor, and over here in verse 7, it talked about pay thy debt. So we have to understand things. It's right here in the scriptures. I keep telling y'all, everything that we need to understand is right here in the scriptures. But people don't see it. They don't know it. A lot of people don't understand it. But that's on them. So now we're moving into verse 8. We stopped right there at verse 7. We're moving into verse 8. And this is Elisha and the Shulamite woman. Elisha and the Shulamite woman. We can ready to start here. Great, jump back in with us, baby.
Yeah, bro. I was just trying to make some.
I sure appreciate it. My baby brought me some coffee.
It's full. Be careful.
I got it. Thank you, sweets. Got mushroom coffee, that is, not regular coffee. This is actually some mushroom coffee that a friend of mine, he has a shop here in Detroit, Michigan, on Harper, called B Shrooms. Y'all can look them up. B Shrooms. Y'all can look them up. And that's what we drink. We drink mushroom coffee. You know, it's a lot better than the other coffee that's out there. So, Elisha and the Shulamite woman. We get ready to start here, verse 8. Y'all get time? Check out that verse, that chapter 1. That chapter 1 is very understanding debt and credit and what to do. And it's really self-explanatory. A debt came up, it needed to be paid. Elisha just showed her and told her what to do to pay it. All you got to do is do the info. You got to do what's in between to get to do the payment. You got to get in there and you got to make the things happen. I sell alkaline water and alkaline teas. I pay my stuff that way. Bartering is what we used to do. And all funds is money, what we call it, is nothing but a medium exchange compared to the actual exchange. If somebody want my water, I say, okay, I need some highlighters. Okay, we exchange highlighter for a glass of water, or I give you a case of water for a case of highlighters. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is about understanding. The key is understanding how to deal, how to move. That's the. Now we'll move on. Elisha and the Shulamite, verse 8. This is 2 Kings chapter 4. We're in chapter 4 today. Now we're at verse 8. This is part 2. But verse 8. And we 9 minutes in already. And it fell on a day. And it fell on a day that Elisha passed to Shunem. Passed to Shunem. Looked like there was a certain land.
Sorry, sweetie, can you give me that verse again?
That we're starting at?
Yes.
Verse 8. We're 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 8.
Okay.
You will, baby. Verse 8 again. And it fell on a day that Elisha passed to Shunem. Where was a great woman? Where was a great woman? So she was somebody in power or somebody with a great name. She's somebody that was known in that area. And she constrained him to eat bread. So she stopped him. Come here, I need you to come eat bread with me. Come on over here. I want to cook dinner for you. She restrained him, right? And she constrained him to eat bread. And so it was that as oft as he passed by, he turned in thither to eat bread. So she became friends to him. You got to understand the stories as you're reading them. So as often as he'll come by, he turned it thither. He turned into her way to eat bread. So when she seen him, she appreciated him. She probably know who he was. Come on, I want you. She want to make friends with him. Who don't want to be a friend with the man of Yah, a prophet of the Creator? Who don't want to be a friend to him or with him? If you know that he's doing, like I said last week, when Elisha said, if it wasn't for Jehoshaphat, I wouldn't even look your way. I'd have been like, excuse me, how do I get back in your God's good graces? What I need to do? I'd be trying to find out. Especially if I know that he's a man of the Creator. I'm not gonna sit back. Oh, no, let me know how to get close to the Creator. I want everything to be good on my side. And she said unto her husband, behold now, I perceive that this is a holy man of Yah. See, she perceived that. She must didn't know it, but she perceived because she called him into her house, which passes by us continually. He passed by us continually. So he became friends with the family. That would look like to me. 10. Let us make a little chamber, I pray thee, on the wall. A little chamber, I pray thee, on the wall, and let us set for him there a bed. So now when he come by, since he just coming through the city, and you know how we when we travel, sometimes I may be going from here to Atlanta, I may be going from here to Mississippi, I may be going from here to Florida, maybe going from here to Colorado or wherever. If I go through a city, I may want to just stop and say, oh, I got these friends over here. Let me stop by and check them out while I'm heading that way. I used to do that. I used to have friends. I used to go certain places. Like I used to go to Atlanta a lot, but I was catching the bus at one time. But one time I had a layover. It was a long time ago. It was before I left Detroit in my beginning. One time I had a layover. My auntie and them, they knew somebody. I went and stayed over. They probably been friends or family members. I stayed with them for 8 hours before I had to go back and get on the bus. People go through that all the time when they're on the plane. Sometimes you go to a plane, you have to take a plane, you go somewhere. You have to have a so-called 8-hour stay. I got a cousin in I think I was traveling to Mississippi, and I went through. I was on Greyhound. I went through Chicago. I got a cousin that stayed in Rockford, Illinois. I think I had a 5-hour wait. I went and called him up. I went and hung up with my cousin, chilled out with him for a few hours. Matter of fact, same thing with my brother Steve when he was staying in Chicago. When I was going to Mississippi, I would go and hang out with either. It all depends how long the stay was, and then from there I get on the bus. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's what it looked like. This is how we make friendship. We build with family, friends, people we ain't seen in a long time. This is how we build with each other. This is how we should anyway. So, again, verse 9. And she said unto her husband, behold now, I perceive that this is a holy man of Yah, which passeth by continually. 10, verse 10. Let us make a little chamber, I pray thee. So we're going to break down the wall. Let us make a little chamber, I pray thee, on the wall, and let us set for him there a bed, and a table, and a stool. So they're going to give him his little room, and a candlestick. And it shall be when he cometh to us that he shall turn in thither. So this is going to be your place when you come, bro. And that was smart on her behalf. Nowadays, people are too. Check this out. Check this out, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a quick story before I move on. A couple of days ago, I think it was Thursday, I was in Highland Park. I was in Highland Park here in Detroit. I was in Highland Park, right? I used to go. I go to these stores in Highland Park off Woodward. Foot Locker moved from the strip. Now Foot Locker got their own store right off Woodward. Now back off Woodward, you got the strip and then you got the parking lot. But Foot Locker sits off the Woodward now. So I decided to go in there for the first. Didn't really look like nobody was in there, but I decided to pull up and go up in there. I see my boy, the security. Me and him, we have good conversations all the time. No, me and him, we had a conversation, right? Me and him had a conversation about him coming to the class on Tuesday as well on Zoom. But yeah, we had a conversation, right? So me and him, we talking. Some people that came in, he got some people was coming in while me and him having a conversation. I asked the people in the store because they usually get teas from me or waters from me. And nobody got none at this time. They said they'll probably see me next time I come through. Because you hit and miss sometimes. It's no problem. I like the fellowship. When I go places, I talk to people because it's not about just coming trying to get a buck. I like coming fellowshipping, knowing, and you never know what comes out of conversation. So this woman and the man came in. They came in. I told them, would y'all like some alkaline water and tea? They said, okay, maybe whatever. They walked through the store. On their way out, the man said, I just want some water. And then when I told him, well, you can get one for the tea, you can get one. The waters is one for 3 or 2 for 5, or the teas is 1 for 5. You can get 3 for 10. You can include the water with that. He said, well, I just want water. And she said, well, I want a tea. I said, well, you can get. I said, well, how much is just water and tea? I said, well, that's $8. I said, for $2 extra, you can get another tea or another water, however you want to do it. And he said, well, I just want a water. So he got his water. He walked on out the door. She's gonna pay for it with her card. With her now I just got a new phone. If y'all remember last week that was, my phone went out, my YouTube went out as we was in process of having a conversation. My YouTube went out. My whole phone went dead. So now I had to get a new phone. So now I got a new phone at this time. Now I hadn't set up the pay, the tap to pay. I thought I did, but I didn't set up my tap to pay on my Square and my phone. So I'm trying to get it together. So she said, okay, no problem. No. What it was is my boy. He said, okay, you go ahead and get your 3. I'm gonna get 3 too. So he gave me a 20. It's 1 for 5, 3 for 10, 6 for 20, or 10 for 30 for the teas. He gave me a 20. He gave 3, and he bought 3 for her. She said, okay, I'll be back to give you, your 10. They said, oh, everything cool. He said, no, I'll be back. I'm come on back and whatever, They said, cool. Everything was cool. She left. By me and him talking, and I'm kind of wrapping up and everything, get ready to go. The brother came in and gave him the 20 back. She said, oh, I gave him, he bought mine or whatever. The brother, now, and on that note, excuse me, Instagram, looks like it slipped off. On that note, the brother came in and gave the brother the $20. And he said, well, it's like he paid for both of them then because, he paid 10 for her and 10 for him. So the whole thing is that the brother, me and him looked at where, he said, well, the brother was probably thinking that something like, when some people, like, remember that time Martin did that with Gina? Because Cole let her borrow some money or whatever, and he think, well, she might want to try to, we got to get out of that way of thinking. Right here, she said, let us make a chamber for him when it comes through. See, this is how we're supposed to be as men of Yah. We know that people in the world are a certain type of way, but we got to start getting our trust back for each other. We got to start building trust back for each other. So I just told that story to let you understand that the brother came in and gave him the 20, but he didn't have the money at first. But she had it on the card. Or he had the money out in the car. So when she must have told him, oh, the brother bought, he got the teas for me, whatever, because I didn't, he came in and said, here, brother, everything's good, I appreciate you getting the teas for me and love. But the whole thing is, I was looking at Corey Holcomb and the brother that be on with Mace last night, and they was having a conversation about women gonna do what they want to do anyway. And I'm not saying that what the woman's gonna be, just saying in general by that man's mindset. A person gonna do what they want to do anyway. If they want to cheat, they gonna cheat. I'm just putting this out right here according to what I'm reading right here and according to the conversation. If somebody gonna cheat, they gonna cheat because they want to. It ain't about how loyal a person is or whatever, because they could be loyal, but if they want to cheat, they going to do it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. That's on them. So it's sad that people can't have trust for each other, because even though that happened, what was gonna happen? Even if he did come and get a 20 back, if she decided to go up to the store and she see him anyway, well, if that, and wasn't nothing about it. But matter of fact, it's another story to that, but it had nothing to do with cheating. It was something else on regards of my brother and something that he went through, which I'm talking about the brother, the security guard, something he went through, and he just made a mention of something, and everything was still cool as friends, as open conversation. That's all it is. I'm gonna get off that. But I'm just saying we need to get better as a people. We got to get away with the mindset of being everybody's your enemy or everybody's trying to get something that you got. We got to get out of that. Let's keep it moving. Verse 11. And it fell on a day. And it fell on a day. Both of them fell on a day. It fell on a day in verse 8, and it fell on a day in 11. That he came thither, and he came into the chamber and laid there. So he came on a day. He came and he went into the chamber and he laid there. And he said to Gehazi, Gehazi or Gehazi. And he said to Gehazi, his servant, okay, now I know who this is. I ain't gonna tell the story yet, because I think it's in chapter 5. Gehazi, it was his servant, the one that was following him. And he said to Gehazi, his servant, call this Shulamite. Called this Shulamite, and when he had called her, she stood before him. He said, go get her. And she came to him. And he said unto him, say now unto her. He told him to tell her, behold, thou hast been careful for us all this care. I mean, you've taken care of us. You've given us all this. See, you see what she did? She gained favor. To her, behold, thou hast been careful for us with all care. What is it to be done for thee? What would you like for us to do for you? You see? You see what happens? When you do something good for people, they want to repay the favor. Not always gimme, and not reciprocate. They always gimme. People don't want to give nothing. You know what I'm saying? What is it to be done for thee? Wouldst thou be spoken for to the king or to the captains of the host? And she answered, I dwell among mine own people. So he said, would you like to be spoke to? See, he's going to do something big for her because of what he did for him. And she said, I dwell among my own people. And he said, what then is to be done for her? And he said, what then is to be done for her? And Gehazi answered, verily she has no child, and her husband is old. She has no child, and her husband is old. So she was a young woman with an older man. He must be up in age. But as you can see, he listened to his wife. He listened to his wife. He was an older guy. He had a young wife. She must have been I'm gonna say virtuous, or she was a very aware woman. She seen that he was a man of Yah. She told her husband, this is a man of Yah. Let's go ahead and get this so we'll be blessed. I like saying blessed, prosperous, right? And he said, verse 15, and he said, call her. And when he had called her, she stood in the door. So now she's at the place that they made for them in their house. It's kind of like if I bust this wall down and we got like a little room, and then we bust on the other side of that wall, it's a door. So now when you come, this is your place. When you come to visit, you come here anytime you want. This is your place when you come. And that's smooth, right? Verse 16. And he said about this season, according to the time of life. You see that? According to the time when you shall birth. What's that according when you're gonna give birth? If she get pregnant, according to the time, so she may have been gotten pregnant, or he probably said that she had to have sex about this time next year, about this season, according to the time of birth or life, thou shalt embrace a son. And she said, nay, my father, my Lord, thou man of Yah, do not lie unto thine handmaid. But he just told her, she know that he's a man of Yah. And he said, about this season, according to the time of life, thou shalt embrace a son. And she said, nay, my Lord, man of Yah, do not lie unto thine handmaid. She sound like Sarah there, don't she? Don't she sound like Sarah? Laughed within herself, didn't think she was gonna have a child. 17. And the woman conceived and bare a son. He told her. And the woman conceived and bare a son at that season. Like he said. That Elisha had said unto her according to the time of life. That was prophecy. He told her what was going to happen, and it happened. And when the child was grown, see, now the child is grown up. And when the child was grown, it fell on a day that he went out to his father to the reapers. To his fathers, to the reapers. They was reaping food. The reapers. And when the child was grown, so it means that he had grown up. Now, we don't know how grown now. We say grown, we think grown is up in age. That's what we would say. But the child may have been grown maybe 7, 8, 9, maybe in the 13. The grown could be in the teens. That's when the children are considered to be actually in doing their bar mitzvah, the time of when they're actually of age. They're of age to be men. They're accountable for their own sins, as they call it. So it could be around that time. I'm hypothetically saying, but we know this is not an infant. So it could be anywhere between, let's just say 7 to 12 or 13 to 18. Who knows, right? But it says, and when the child was grown, it fell on a day that he went out to his father to the reapers. And he said unto his father, my head, my head. And he said to the lad, carry him to his mother. He said to a lad, carry him to his mother. So something happened with the boy's head. Something was going on. And when he had taken him, when a lad took him to his mother, had taken him, he brought him to his mother. He sat on her knees till noon, and then died. He sat on her knees till noon, till the evening, because noon is the beginning of the evening of the day. The evening of the day is the beginning of evening. Noon is the beginning of evening for the second part of the day. Let me put it like that. All right. And he said, and when he had taken him and brought him to his mother and set her on her knees till noon. he sat on her knees till noon, then he died. And when she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God, and shut the door upon him, and went out. And she went up and laid him on the bed of them. So she went to his house and laid him on his bed, and shut the door upon him, and went out. She put him on his bed. And she called unto her, and she called unto her husband, and said, Send me, I pray thee, one of the young men, and one of the asses, that I may run to the man of God and come again. So she wanted to run to him and come back, because now she want to tell him what happened. And he said, Wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. You see that? You see that? It is neither new moon, you see that? Nor Sabbath. And she said, It shall be well. He must didn't know that the boy passed. And she said, It shall be well. Then she saddled an ass and said to her servant, Drive and go forward. Slacken not thy riding for me, except I bid thee. That means go far, go fast and hard. Don't slacken unless I tell you to slow down. So go fast, go hard. She gonna try to find him to see if he can do what he can for the child, right? So she went and came unto the man of Yah to Mount Carmel, okay? To Mount Carmel. And it came to pass when the man of Yah saw her afar off that he said to Gehazi, his servant, Behold, yonder is the Shulamite. Is that Shulamite? He's seen her. When he saw her afar off, that he said to Gehazi, his servant, Behold, yonder is that Shulamite. Run now, I pray thee, to meet her, and say unto her, Is it well with thee? It is well with thy husband. Is it well with thy husband? Is it well with thy child? And she answered, It is well. And she answered, It is well. And when she came to the man of Yah, to the hill, she caught him by his feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away. Man, get away. Don't get on his feet like that. What's wrong with you? This sound like, now what did that sound like, y'all? Don't that sound like Miriam when she went and she washed Jesus' feet, as they say, with her hair? Don't that what that sound like right there? I told y'all got to understand, if you don't understand the stories here, you'll never know where they got them from in the New Testament. You got to understand the stories as we see them. Let me make sure I get this. And when she came to the man of Yah, she caught him by the feet. She caught him by the feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away. And the man of Yah said, Let her alone. You see that? What that look like, y'all? What does it look like? Same thing. Let her alone, for her soul is vexed within her. And Yah has laid it from me, has hid it from me, and has not told me. The father ain't told him. Let me put this, no, I'm gonna put this here. No, put this here. Let her alone, for her soul is vexed within her. And Yah has not told me. But look at the situation though. She went and held him at his feet. He said, Let her alone, for her soul is vexed. Wasn't she crying with tears, wiping Jesus' feet with her tears and wiping with her hair, crying on his feet with the tears and she wiping his feet? Y'all told y'all got to understand the stories. When y'all start to see the stories here, your mind open up to see everything as you need to see it, right? 28. Then she said, did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I not say, do not deceive me? Now, this is what women play, like my wife said a little earlier in part 1. How some people, they get into their feelings about certain things, then they want to start playing. I knew a sister in Atlanta. I know she had 2 boys. I never knew she had a girl. I'm not going to tell the name or anything like that, but this is a story that I know and I'm telling you that I have experienced. A sister, she had a girl I never knew about. Before she had her 2 boys. She said she had the daughter, the girl. She always wanted the daughter, whatever, and then the baby was, I guess she really loved the baby. She probably put the baby before the creator, I don't know. But she said the baby passed, and she said she cursed out the creator. She said she cursed him out. I couldn't believe it when she told me that. I said, what? I cursed him out. I couldn't believe in no God. I was like, I said, my point is she made that baby a God. She made that daughter that she had, she made it a God. She may even realize it. But the point is, when you go that far to where the creator giveth and the creator taketh away, blessed be the name of Yah, if things happen, it's out of our control. We all come to this plane of earth to come, to live, to pass. Whatever it is that we do while we're here, it's our job. Whatever that thing that is we're going to do, that's our job to do. We have no control over life or death. Doctors think they have control over it, but things happen for the purpose that they happen for. And we have to realize that. So a lot of time, people are living a certain way or thinking a certain way or have a mindset a certain way, but you have to have a bigger concept in your mind about who's in control. And that's where I leave it. And verse 28 again. Then she said, did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I not say, do not deceive me? Then he said to Gehazi, gird up thy loins and take my staff in thine hand and go thy way. If thou meet any man, this is what he's telling Gehazi. This is what he's telling him. Then he said to Gehazi, gird up thy loins and take my staff in thy hand and go thy way. If thou meet any man, salute him. Salute him not. He said, don't say nothing to him. Just go ahead, don't say nothing to him. Salute him not. Make sure I get that. If thou meet any man, salute him not. And if any salute thee, answer him not again. And if any salute thee, answer him not again. And lay my staff upon the face of the child. So you know it's something that he didn't do. Say, and lay my staff upon the face of the child. Obedience is right here. Remember I just tell you in part 1? When he told the woman in part 1, from 1 through 7, when he told the woman to take the oil, he said, go shut yourself up in your house. First, go and buy as much vessels as you can. Go shut yourself up in your house. Take the oil and pour them in pots. As the pots fill up, put it to the side. Once she did that, then she went and told him, I did that. Then he told her, see, she did that first. He ain't tell her, go set them up and then go sell it. He ain't say that. He said, go, take your oil, put them in all the pots, set them to the side. She did that. Once she did it, she went back to him. Then he said, now go sell that oil. and pay your debt. She obeyed what he said. This right here sounds like something happened in between the process. Because if he said, then he said to Gehazi, gird up thy loins and take my staff in thine hand and go thy way, go your way. If thou meet any man, salute him not, don't salute him. And if any salute thee, answer him not again. He said not again. So if he said, if he say something, if he salute you, don't even say nothing. That's what it sounds like. Even if he salute you, because he's not, it sounds like he's carrying the blessing within him and in the staff. So if someone was to say, that's what it sounds like. I'm just giving you my understanding at this point. That's what it sounds like. So if someone, if he got a staff, let's just say he got a staff, but the blessing is in him and in the staff, because he said, don't salute nobody, don't say nothing. Just go straight to what you got to do and do what I tell you to do. When you get there, lay the staff on his face. Let's see what happens. And lay the staff upon the face of the child. Verse 30. And the mother of the child said, as Yah liveth and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her. And the mother of the child said, as Yah liveth and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her. And Gehazi passed on, so I guess that's what he did. And Gehazi passed on before them and laid the staff upon the face of the child. But there was neither voice, neither nor hearing. Wherefore he went again to meet him and told him, saying, the child is not awake. The child. Wherefore he went again to meet him and told him, saying, the child is not awake. And laid the staff upon the face of the child, but there was neither voice nor hearing. Wherefore he went again to meet him and told him, saying, the child is not awake. 32. And when Elisha was come into the house, behold, the child. So I guess what it was is Gehazi probably was going ahead of him. Because she told Elisha, well, as she said, then said, nope. And the mother of the child said, as Yah liveth and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her. So I guess that's when Elisha must have arose and followed her, because she wasn't going to leave Elisha, because she know that he's the man. Everybody trusts in. That's why everybody have their favorites when it comes to the pastor. Am I right? They have their favorite to who they want to listen to. That's what this sounds like. So she told him, well, I'm not going to leave thee. Wherefore he went again to meet him and told him, saying, the child is not awake. And when Elisha was come, verse 32, and when Elisha was come into the house, behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed. He was dead and he was laying upon his bed. 33. He went in therefore and shut the door upon them twain, but upon them two, just him and the baby, and prayed unto Yah. And he went up and laid upon the child and put his mouth upon his mouth and his eyes upon his eyes and his hands upon his hands. And he stretched himself upon the child, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. Started to warm the child up. Now, you know, this is some time in between this. We don't know how long or how far or how many days or how many hours, but we know some time in between that time that all this happened. The boy said, my head. He said, take him to his mother. The boy was still alive. Got to his mother until a noon day. Now, we don't know if it was all the same day, because we don't know how far Carmel is from Shunem, or the Shunamites' place. We don't know how far that is. So we don't know how long it took, how many days, a day or two, maybe 3, who knows? Because they say within 3 days' time, you're supposed to give a child or a person 3 days before for a wake. A wake is supposed to be 3 days. But nowadays, the person that die, what have you, they're quick to embalm them so they look like so they won't come back. That's what it looked like to me. But hey. So, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. 35. Then he returned and walked in the house and to and fro. Then he returned and walked in the house to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. So what happened was, and he went up, verse 34, and he went up and laid upon the child, and upon his mouth, upon his mouth, and his eyes upon his eyes, and his hands upon his hands, and he stretched himself upon the child, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. So it's like laying on a person when they're cold. You land on him, and he warmed them up by his body heat, which was his spirit. Then he returned and walked in the house to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. So he went in the house, now he's walking back and forth. I guess he praying, talking to the Father. He probably was talking to the Father, he's walking back and forth as he talking to the house. Then he went back up and stretched himself upon him again, and the child sneezed 7 times. Achoo, 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 achoo. And the child opened his eyes. See that? 36. And he called Gehazi and said, call this Shulamite. So he called her, and when she was come in unto him, he said, take up thy son. He said, take your son up. Then she went in and fell at his feet and bowed herself to the ground and took up her son and went out. This falling at the feet part reminds me of Mary Magdalene. Mary in the New Testament. I got this stuff right here.
So the raising of the dead has been happening. It wasn't just that time of the so-called Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. That's been.
There you go.
Yeah, that's been a thing that Father was allowing his prophets to do through his power.
And that's if that happened, baby.
Right. That's if that happened.
That's if that happened, according to from this here. Like you said, I didn't even think about Lazarus. I didn't think about that, but I thought about Mary when it came to this point here.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is that wasn't uncommon,
right,
for prophets to do.
There you go.
So to me, giving the in the scripture where the one they called Jesus said, if you think this is something, you shall do greater.
Exactly. Thank you.
So this is like it was the thing. It was a common thing for prophets to bring
life back,
people back from the dead. The child and then the beloved man that
they put that touched his bones. That touched his bone. The man that they put the body down there by touched Alicia's bones, and he woke up. Yeah.
That is a thing to do. Even with the dry bones in the valley, when he told him to speak to the dry bones, and though they were bones and ligaments and things start forming on them and all this, that was something that the Spirit of Father was doing. Way back then.
But those bones there was a prophecy of what's going on today.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
For those who don't know, About the valley of dry bones.
Yeah, it was just that the power, the spirit of Father was working with that power, not just through the man they called Jesus or the one they called Jesus, but it worked through all of the prophets.
The prophets that he worked through for it to happen.
The prophets that Most High worked through. But yeah, I'm just kind of thinking on some things.
Well, that's good, because that's how minds are supposed to operate, to see things for what they are. Because I forgot about Lazarus right then when you went before you had mentioned it, because I would have definitely put that in there. Now we're at verse 38, and this is Elisha's miracles for the prophets. Elisha miracles for the prophets. Verse 38. And Elisha came again to Gilgal. Now, see, these are different places. These are 3 different places that this happened at. Elisha came again to Gilgal, and there was a dearth in the land. There was a dearth in the land. And the sons of the prophets were sitting before him. And he said to his servant, prophets that were sitting before him, and he said unto his servant, set on the great pot, and seize pottage for the sons of the prophets. Okay. Set on the great pot and seize pottage for the sons of the prophets. 39. And one went out into the field to gather herbs, and found a wild vine, and gathered thereof wild gourds. A wild vine, wild gourds, his lap full, and came and shared them into the pot of pottage. He shared them into the pot of pottage. So he had like in his, like, like when you have like thing and in your lap, that means that you're holding your robe or whatever, and it sit in your lap, and he's carrying it like this, right? For they knew them not. Wait a minute, hold on. And verse 39. And one went out into the field to gather herbs, and found a wild vine, and gathered thereof wild gourds, his lap full. So he was full, and came and he shredded them. He shredded them into the pot of pottage, for they knew them not. They didn't know what that stuff was. He just got it and just brought it. So they poured out for the men to eat. And it came to pass, as they were eating of the pottage, that they cried out and said, O thou man of Yah, there is death in the pot. Somebody did something, he didn't know what he was doing. He just seen stuff, and one just come and stick it in the pot. There is death in the pot, and they could not eat thereof. But he said, then bring meal, and he cast it into the pot. And he said, bring meal. Then bring meal, and he cast it into the pot. And he said, pour out for the people, that they may eat. And there was no harm in the pot. You see that? Boy, now you know what this remind me of? I'm gonna read it for you real quick. Matthew 10. Let me read this for you real quick. What this reminds me of, and what I'm thinking is in here. You get there first. Let me read what I think that at this point, what this reminds me of. And I'm not saying that's what it is, but this reminds me of this, right? Matthew chapter 10. This is in the mission of the 12, right? But let me go ahead and read it down. Start at verse 1. And when it's supposed to be Jesus chooses the 12. It says, and when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness. You see this? And all manner of disease. Now the name of, that was in verse 1. Now the name of the 12 apostles are these. The first Simeon, who is called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew, the publican, James the son of Alphaeus, and Lebbaeus, whose surname was Thaddeus, Simeon the Canaanite. Look at this, the 12, the 12 disciples. Simeon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who also betrayed him. Now, listen at this, verse 5. The mission of the 12. These 12 Jesus sent forth. I'm saying Jesus, I like to just say the prophet because I ain't gonna go there. Just gonna say these 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not in the way of the Gentiles. Right? If Simeon was a Canaanite, he was a Gentile. The Father worked through Israel. But let me go ahead and keep moving. Go not in the way of the Gentiles, and into the cities of the Samaritans enter ye not. Samaritans, that is a city. Enter ye not. But rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But Samaria was a part of the lost sheep because that was part of the land. You see what I'm saying? But rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and as ye go, preach, saying unto the kingdom of heaven is at hand. But that is your key. You understand? That was the prophet's mission. When you go to Matthew 4, verse 17, I believe I think it's 4:17. I'm gonna show you how that was 4:17. It said, yeah, 4:17. From that time, the prophet began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That was his mission. But verse 7 says, and as ye go preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Now, verse 8, heal the sick, cleanse the leper, raise the dead. You see that? You see all the stuff that's going on now? That we see that was going on right there with Elisha and in the law and the prophets? Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils, freely ye have received, freely give. Right? Provide neither gold, neither silver, nor brass in your purses, nor scrip for your journey, neither two coats, neither shoes, nor yet staffs, for the workman is worthy of his meat. And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. That sounds like going into Samaria. Sodom and Gomorrah. And into whatsoever city or town ye enter, which is what Elisha did. Elisha did it because Elisha, when the Shulamite woman set up a whole place for him. Isn't that what this sound like? And into whatever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. That sound like Abraham telling or talking to the ambassador Well, if you go down, suppose you find 50 men in there that's righteous, all the way down. Suppose you find 10 men that's righteous. Well, if it's 10 men in the city, we will not destroy the city. And I still say, when Abraham was saying that for then, he's saying that for today. What's going on today? Us that's righteous are in certain places. That's why they don't want us to go nowhere. They don't want us to leave this place because they know we're righteous. If we leave this place, they're done for. As a matter of fact, I think even when other things begin to happen, it's because they know who we are. Man, y'all got to look at things for what they are. But verse 12, and when ye come into a house, salute it. And if the house is worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, which when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. You see that? That way I said it sound like that. We talking about before the two angels went down into Sodom and Gomorrah. In the day of judgment, then for that city. Now, I said that because when it says, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils, freely as ye have received, freely give. When it says heal the sick, when he said death is in the pot over here, they said at one point they were talking about if a serpent bites you, don't worry about it because they ain't gonna worry about it. You see what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff comes from here. And understand, you guys got to have understanding where it's coming from. If you don't read the laws, the prophets, and the information here, you won't see what I just shared with you in many other situations. So let me keep it moving, though. It says, verse 40. So they pour out of the men to eat, and it came to pass, as they were eating of the pottage, that they cried out and said, O thou man of Yah, there is death in the pot. And they could not eat thereof. But he said, then bring meal. See, this is the key. He brought something in, like some things that we can have today, medicines that's poison, that they say they're poison. I would use this puffer fish that's supposed to be poison, but they cut it a certain type of way. They eat it. It's supposed to be like a delicacy because they can eat it without eating the poison. Certain things that people have plants and stuff that's poison. People can get around the poison by the way they do things. See what I'm saying? It's just understanding different things. There be death in the pot, and they could not eat thereof. Verse 41. But he said, then bring meal. He said, then bring meal. And he cast it into the pot, and he said, pour out for the people that they may eat, and there was no harm in the pot. And there was no harm in the pot. Wait a minute, my other. Here you go, see in my face. And there was no harm in the pot. Right? And there came a man from Baal Shalisha. And there came a man from Baal Shalisha, and brought the man of Yah bread of the first fruits. Brought him bread of the first fruits. 20 loaves of barley, 20 loaves of barley, and full ears of corn in the husk. In the husk thereof. And he said, give unto the people that they may eat. See that? And there came a man who blessed him from one place because there was a dearth. We say it was a dearth. So, and Elisha came again to Gilgal, and there was a dearth in the land. Well, I think dearth is a famine. Might have been a famine. But this was a man in 43. I'm sorry, 42. And there came a man from Baal Baal Shalisha, and brought the man of Yah bread of the first fruits, 20 loaves of barley, and 4 ears of corn in the husk thereof. And he said, give unto the people that they may eat. 43. And his servitor said, and his servitor, and his servitor, oh, that's first time seeing that word. And his servitor said, what should I set this before 100 men? Check this one out. And his servitor said, what? Should I set this before 100 men? So it was 100 people of the sons of the prophets. And he said again, give the people that they may eat. For thus saith Yah. See that? For who? For thus saith Yah. And he said again, give the people that they may eat. Now you see, they question. Because somebody, then the servitor, the one that's going to be serving the people, said, what? Should I set this before 100 men? He said again, give the people that they may eat. For thus saith Yah, they shall eat and shall leave thereof. Don't this sound like, y'all can't tell this in the New Testament? Y'all can't hear what's going on? 2 loaves of bread and 5 fish. Feed what? 5,000 people or something like that? 2,000, 5,000 people in the New Testament? Y'all can't see where they stealing information from? Where the Council of Nicaea took information from here and put it in the New Testament and made it more extravagant than what you see here? Y'all can't see it? I can. Man, I can see this clear as day. That's why I tell people you got to study. If you don't study, you won't know. And he said, give the people that they may eat, for thus saith Yah. He spoke in the name of Yah. For thus saith Yah, they shall eat and shall leave. That they're gonna have food and they're gonna leave some. They're gonna be full. So he set it before them, and they did eat and left thereof according to the word of Yah. You see that? Do you see? Can y'all see the stories? Y'all, this is why we need to study. Chapter 4, Matthew. Stolen here. That's why I put down. The book of Matthew, certain points in the book of Matthew, stolen from right here. If you can't see, that's why, because people don't study. People do not study. They can't see because they don't study. Okay, we almost started going to chapter 5. This is the end of chapter 4. The end of chapter 4, and we see the more you study, the more you know, the more you know, the more you grow. You start to see where the deception started to come in at. You see where they stole information from one point to another. Right here. The loaves of bread and fish. Guess where they got it from? But a lot of people don't study to find out to know because they can't see. Uh-oh, sorry about that, Instagram. They can't see because they don't study. People don't study to know. They just go with what's put in their face. When you go in here, you can start. Remember, I used to tell my wife when I first met, when me and her first started talking, I used to tell her, I said, baby, it's clues. She said, clues? What are you talking about, clues? I said, scriptures. They right there in front of our face, but we can't see. Okay, got another person trying to come in, even though we're at the end of the situation.
Recording stopped.
How you doing, Ariel? How you doing? They gone. All right. Just want to make sure. Got to make sure I know who's doing what before I
Recording in progress.
allow them to come in. Someone came in. I thought they was somebody. Come and go. So other than that, y'all, this is here. We just got through sharing information out of the scriptures. We was just in 2 Kings chapter 4. 2 Kings chapter 4, and we heard of Gehazi, which we're going to find out next week, something that happened to him because of how certain people are. Let me put it like that. We got to understand, people are people no matter who they are. The Father could use you as a servant, but it's up to you to be the servant of the Father to do His will. Because he don't stop you from doing what you do. People have their own agendas for the things that they do. And a lot of people don't realize they think they are the Father and they're not. Because they don't follow the word of the Father and they don't understand what's being said. So by these things happening, they don't understand where they actually stand with the Almighty. So this is the end of 1 Kings chapter 4. And we did 3 different scenarios here, which we will be explaining next week when we come back. We got 3 different scenarios that I just want to share with you. One is of obedience, where we understand all of it is about obedience. But over here, it was shown in part 1, and in sharing, and from 1 through 8, we understood the point of creditor and debtor, and then doing a situation to pay it off. We understand that. That's all in part 1. And in this part 2, we got to understand about Elisha and the Shulamite woman, who actually, they seen the value in someone. I'm gonna break it down like that. They seen the value in a man, which was a prophet of the Father. They made provisions for him to be comfortable when they come through that way, which he did, right? And then after long, and they became friends to the point where she can turn to him for help. And he saved her son, which he prophesied that she was going to have. So, and that's in the second portion. Now, in the last portion, we see where miracles has happened, where Elisha saved some people because a guy went out in the field. It was a dearth land, which was actually, I believe, the dearth is more like a famine in the land. So, but I'm going to say that's my point of view. I haven't looked it up to know what it is. I remember seeing the word before, but I don't know what it is right off. But it was a dearth in the land. And what ended up happening is that some prophets some people, they was the sons of the prophets. One of them went out there in the land to go and gather up some herbs. So he's seen a wild vine, and he's seen some wild vine and wild herbs, and begin to gather them. And one went out to gather the herbs and found a wild vine and wild gourds. That's what it was. And he came and chopped them up and stuck them in the pot. He ain't asked no questions or nothing. He just said, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna take this and just chop them up and throw them in the pot." Nobody probably didn't even see him do it. They probably wasn't even around. So he came and just decided to do it upon himself. He asked no questions, just seen stuff and decided to throw it in the pot. Almost killed all the prophets. But what did Elisha do? Okay, let's get some meal and throw it on over there. So he got some meal. He said, throw some meal over in the pot. Bam, threw some meal in the pot. It was good. Then a man from Baal Shalisha, And he came with some food. He came with some food. What did he have? Let me share what he brought. Saying that came from a man from Baalisha. And he came, excuse me, y'all, I know y'all ain't seen him right there. And he came and brought the man of Yah, which was Elisha. Because Elisha looked like he was taking care of them at the time. He brought the bread of the first fruits, 20 loaves of barley, 20 loaves of barley, and four ears of corn in the husk. I mean, they wasn't unhusked. And then you got the servitor. And the servitor, the one that's serving the food, he gonna say, what should I set? Say what? Should I set this before 100 men? A servitor, he supposed to be serving. You just do your job. I told you what to do. Just do what I asked you to do. But at least he told him, he said, that's all right. Thus saith Yah. What he say? He said again, give the people that they may eat. For thus saith Yah, they shall eat and shall leave thereof. And I'm gonna tell you again, that's where this stuff come out in the New Testament. They stole out of the word of Yah, the Council of Nicaea, and they came and gave you this. They gave you, Jesus, he 2 loaves of bread and 5 fish for 5,000 people. They got that from here. Yeah, but I'm just telling you, once you start to see the scriptures of thus saith Yah, now you start to see where they stole it and put it in the New Testament. And they modified it, made it more than what it is. I told y'all that's what they did. The Council of Nicaea did that. But the people don't know because they don't study. Then you tell them stuff like me, I'm telling them right now because I've done my research and found out that the Council of Nicaea gave you the 4 God spells. The Council of Nicaea did that. And this is where Revelation 13 coming about, mainly saying the Roman Empire had deceived the whole world in Revelation 12. And Revelation 13 is about the Roman Empire, the first beast, 1 through 10, the second beast, 11 through 18. And all of it is of the same. But I'm going to leave it right there. Baby, is there anything you wanted to share on this point of view that I was just sharing? Or you're done with it as well? Because we can get ready to go. But I just wanted to make sure that was known. You got to do your research. You got to study the book for the history and the prophets what the Creator gave. Then you got to see what they stole from it and put the New Testament there. So my baby ain't saying nothing. I'm waiting on you, baby. I see you're clear. You want to say anything?
Yeah, I was just allowing you to finish up your sentences. No, I'm not. No, I don't have anything else to share. Just shared enough, I believe.
You shared what you shared because all was valid. So other than that, I'd like to thank everyone else for coming, that did come through, that saw what they saw and shared what they shared from what we was here. Okay, we got Robert over here. I just said Robert Craig. He said he done used Jesus 5 times, LOL. Woo! I bet there's Robert over there on YouTube now. But I'm looking over here.
Brother Craig, I say hello.
Brother Craig, Joanne said hello, bro. My wife says greetings. Says shalom, should I say. But here we had, let's see who all came through. We had Miss Shapes, _1, Miss BJ Ladybug. How you doing? We had Robert. Okay, we had and that's Robert. He said he done used Jesus 5 times. Didn't y'all say Robert said, didn't y'all say that the land can't survive without us in it? Which means they know who we are, or they would have been moved us somewhere else or tried. That's true. Even when Marcus Garvey was talking about let's move back to Africa, they stopped the ships from moving. That's because they know who we are. And that just hit me when Robert just said that. Last thing said, yes, they stole everything and replaced everything. Exactly. Robert, you're on point, bro. You're on point. And that's the whole thing. They stole and they replaced, and they want to keep us in servitude under them because they know that we're the blessing. If we move, their covering is gone. Once you understand who you are, men of Yah and women of Yah, you know where your inheritance lies, and that's what we give in our class on Tuesdays. That's what we give. We give you we get you to understand where your inheritance lies. And I'm gonna give you this clue. Wherever you was born, you have an inheritance there. I'm just gonna share that with you. I'm trying to bring everything to the forefront where you can understand it in a better sense. But right now, until you get to where we are, or until you get to know things that you need to know, you'll be where you are. So until then, and until next week, I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see, that Mikael is really me. I thank y'all for y'all time, your patience, your listening ear, and for being and coming in to join us today for the Assembly of the Righteous, which is the Creator's Day that He brought us together. And we start here at noon, which is at 12 noon. And right now we're going to do the benediction, which is what the Creator has asked Aaron and his sons to put up on the people, that we may be blessed through him and through his word. And it states, we're in Numbers chapter 6, verse 22 through 27, and it states, and Yah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, on this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yah bless thee and keep thee. Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious. Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put Yah's name with law upon the children of Israel, and Yah will bless them. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shekevo, Vakuto Violam, Vaed, Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah, blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Hallelujah. Blessed be thou, Father, universe, to bring forth all living creatures forth. We bless you and thank you for another beautiful Sabbath day. We bless you for all the things you've done to us, with us, and for us, that we may awaken to open to do your will, do your knowledge, and do your way. We ask you to keep us in your way. We ask you, Father, to bring those who you choose to come forth and to gain the knowledge that you have to be gained, to know the knowledge that order them for to wake up and come out from under this Roman government, this Roman empire, that we may be children of the light, children of the Most High, children of yours, doing your will, doing your word, and doing your way. We praise you, bless you, and thank you. Bless you and thank you. In your holy word we pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. And thank you for another beautiful Sabbath day. Hallelujah. Praise you, Almighty. Thank you, Father. And for everyone else that may be here, that we get ready, we're going to call it the end of the Assembly of the Righteous at this point. We're going to enjoy the rest of our day. I'm going to give me some more rest, probably get something to eat. I'm going to give me some rest. And as we do on the Shabbat, me and my wife, we make sure we get our rest on. I got to go see these brothers I haven't seen in a while. It's been a minute since I went to saw them. So I may do that, and then I may not. We'll just see how things go. If I get something to eat before I leave, if I decide to do it. If not, we'll just see what happens. But other than that, just like to share with you that we're here on the public and private platforms on Zoom. I'm gonna give you my information on how to connect with us on Zoom if you're interested, and then I'm gonna give you the public platforms that we're on afterwards. So we're here this Tuesday. Now, this is our last Tuesday of the month, which we have Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge. So we will be here this Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. for those who work late or they can get on in the morning, or for those who are in the UK, because we have many of those that's here. And we're here at 9 p.m. after the sun go down on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge as well. So we're doing it once a month now until people start to get into their seat, their office, and you'll learn more about that once you come to class. So until people start doing that, I don't have time to waste. I got other things to do. So other than that, I will tell you that you can come to these platforms that I'm about to share with you at just text me. When you text me and or if email me your name, number, and email. But text me your name and your email. That way I have your number when you text me, and I can lock you in, and that way you'll be connected. And I will send you. Text me your name and email and say, excuse me, you'd like to know more about the Zoom classes, or you'd like to know more about the alkaline water and teas, or you'd like to know about both. I'd like to know more about Zoom classes and your alkaline water and alkaline teas. And what I would do, I would send the information to you in the email, and I would email you the information, and if you text me, I'll text you the information on the waters and teas and everything as well. But I'll send you the invitations to the Zooms, and you will accept them in your email. And you got to have a Google Calendar. You got to have a Google Calendar in order for the information to come up. So you have to download Google if you don't have a Google Calendar, and then you'll get those locations and the dates of everything that's coming up, and you'll get notifications. So again, we're here on Zoom, and if you text me your name and your email at 770-572-5315. Again, that's 770-572-5315. Excuse me. And or email me your name, number, and email. Again, name, number, and email at lkhyym@gmail.com. That's lkhyym@gmail.com. Text, email me your name, number, email, or text me your name and number, and I will send you back information and the invites in your email. You got to have a Google Calendar in order to get the links and everything else, or at least the information to that. So don't forget that this Tuesday we have Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge, and that's at 7:30 a.m. or at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, both Eastern Time. Then we have, like we have today, the Sabbath, which is the Assembly of the Righteous, which is every Sabbath at 12 p.m. noon. Every Sabbath at 12 p.m. noon, Assembly of the Righteous. Then we have on Sunday, which is tomorrow, the night after tomorrow, that is, which is, some people say tomorrow night, we have Assembly of, we have Fight Fire with Truth. Fight Fire with Truth is this Sunday, which is tomorrow, which we have open conversations. We have open conversations, sit down and talk and share information across the board we need to talk about. But the private stuff we keep private. So we leave it like that, but we talk about things across the board. You have to bring it up to find out what's private and what's not. And again, that's on the night after Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we're here on Mondays, night after Monday, that is, at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that's called Mikael's Knowledge of Truth. That's Mikael's Knowledge of Truth, night after Monday. Other than that, hopefully we'll see y'all Tuesday. Connect me with the information, your information, so you can get my information and my NDA, and that'll all be self-explanatory. Other than that, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening here on that point. Now we're going to move to the public, which you can connect with me on YouTube. My YouTube and my X, formerly known as Twitter, you can connect with me on either one of those. And my YouTube, you can like, subscribe, and share. under Juice Pro 33, which is spelled JUICEPRO 3333. Again, that's LKHYYM underscore no L my bad. Again, that's JUICEPRO 33. That's JUICEPRO 33 for my YouTube and for my X, formerly known as Twitter. Like I said, you can like, subscribe, and share with me on that. Now you can also move to my Facebook. My Facebook is under Mikael Harris, which is spelled MI''CHAEL space HARRIS. Again, that's MI''CHAEL space, space HARRIS. That's my Facebook. You're welcome to connect with me there. You also can connect with me on my Instagram and one of my TikToks. My Instagram and one of my TikToks is under Lakaim underscore the juice, which is spelled LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. Again, that's LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. And for that's Lakaim for my Instagram and for my one of my TikToks. My other TikTok and my other YouTube is under Michael the Juice Harris, all together as one word. And you spell Michael the Juice Harris like MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. Again, that's LKH. Again, that's MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. All right? That's Michael the Juice Harris, all together as one word. Now, last but not least, we have patreon.com and rumble.com. That's patreon.com/LKHYYM. Again, that's patreon.com/LKHYYM. And we also have rumble.com. Excuse me. /LKHYYM. Again, that's rumble.com/LKHYYM. So other than that, we getting ready to call it a day, since we're still in this beautiful day. I'm gonna get me some rest. Oh boy. Hot. I'm gonna get me a little bit of rest, maybe eat a little something before I make a move. But other than that, I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening there, and your seeing eye. We're gonna say bye to YouTube first. No, first, since you're the longest Zoom, we're gonna say bye to you first and my baby Joe. I'll see you in a few minutes, baby. Maybe see what you prepared downstairs for to eat. But other than that, I'll be down in a few minutes. And everyone else on the Zoom, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening there, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you. See you soon and always. Peace. Love you. Love you, baby.
Recording stopped.
Love you too.
All right, sweetie. And there we go. Now, over here on YouTube Live, we're going to let you go first this time. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you. See you soon. And always, peace.